Hello, welcome everyone. Today we are doing Mathematics Paper 2 Higher Tier. This is 22 paper. Let me start with the first question. The scatter graph shows information about the amount of rainfall in millimeter and the number of hours of sunshine for each of 10 English towns on the same day, and that's given on this graph. One of the points is an outliner. We need to find which one. See, clearly we have to draw a line of best fit, and this is always a line which is at the mid of the data. That means equal, almost equal amount of data should be on left hand side and should be on right hand side. Your line of best fit should be like that. So here I can say it would be like this, way which is way up far from this line, and which is clearly this one, and this is 2 comma 1. Ignoring the outliner, describe the relationship between the amount of rainfall and the number of hours of sunshine. See this one. And it says, if you see that each point, if I take this point, amount of rainfall is 6 and number of hours of sunshine is 1 hour. Take again, let me say this one. This is 5 and number of sunshine is approximately 7 point, you can say 7.2. So what we can deduce is that when amount of rainfall increases, the number of hours of sunshine is decreasing. Say when it was 6, sunshine was lesser. Then when this rainfall decreases, the sunshine is increasing. So I can say the reverse as well, that as the amount, but since we are starting from here, so I can clearly see that rainfall is increasing, but at the same time the number of hours for sunshine is decreasing, and this is actually a negative correlation. And always if you see like this is a positive correlation, have a positive gradient, this have a negative gradient, that means it's a negative correlation. As the amount of rainfall increases, the number of hours of sunshine decreases, and it is actually a negative correlation. So it's a negative correlation. On the same day, in another English town, there were 7 hours of sunshine. Using the scatter graph, estimate the amount of rainfall. See, it's given as there are 7 hours of sunshine. We have already drawn the line of best fit. 7 hours of sunshine, that means it's here. I need to draw a straight line till it touches the graph or curve, and then draw a line just here. If you read it, this is 3.2. So I can say that what is answer? Answer is 3.2 millimeter of rainfall. This is how you calculate it. Say for example, if they have given that this is the rainfall and you have to calculate the hours of sunshine, then also we have to do the same thing. Only in that case we'll start from the x point which is given. I'll draw a straight line vertical. When it touches the curve, then I'll draw a horizontal line. Question 2 says the front elevation and the plan of a solid are shown on the grid. On the grid, draw the side elevation of the solid from the direction of the arrow. See, this is the front elevation. This is plan, and we have to draw the side elevation. If the topmost looks like this, the front looks like this, side will be what? For side, definitely you have to take this line and you have to take this line. Height should be this one of for side, because this is front. So from front, whatever you will see, suppose this is our cuboid. I'm obviously not drawing perfectly. If this is front, then side will be having the same height. Clearly, whatever be the height of front, the same height will be of side. That means whatever be the height, the same is going to be the height for side. Second, for the top, whatever be this side, the same width, whatever be the width of first, the top one, that is the width of the top one, is going to be the width of the side as well. So that means I can say that same height is going to be here. How many boxes are this? 5 boxes. So I have to draw 5 boxes just below it, like this. And width, how many boxes? 1, 2, 3. So same width. This is our side, and this is our preference. You can clearly see when you see from this side, clearly from this side, you will see a smoothness till 1 unit, till 1 unit. Then there is a change. Next change will be after 2 units. So after 2 units. This is how you can draw the side view. Here are the first 5 terms of an arithmetic sequence. You should know what is an arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence is a sequence where you keep on adding the same number to the next term. It can be a positive number, it can be a negative number, but you keep on adding the same. Because they have already mentioned that it's an arithmetic series, let me see what's the difference between them. So 13 minus 7. 13 minus 7 is 6. That means there is a gap of 6. So if I add plus 6, I'll get the next term 19. Plus 6, next term 25. Plus 6, next term 31. So I get to know that the common difference of this series is 6. So common difference is 6. Find an expression in terms of n for the nth term. You can calculate the nth term from here as well. 7. First term is 7. Next term is 13, 19. That means I can clearly write the common difference is 6, 6, 6, 6. If you're not able to solve this, if you're not able to process it, I have uploaded the video on arithmetic series, quadratic series. You'll get a better idea how to solve this. Here also I'm trying to explain you so that you can understand whenever there is an arithmetic series, how to calculate its nth term. Once you're done with finding this common difference, whatever be the common difference come out to be, that is 6 multiplied with n, because clearly this is a linear sequence. Whatever be the nth term comes out to be, it's a linear expression. So multiply this with n. So 6n. Now I have to write my series, the original series, and 6n series. Original series is 7, 13, 19, 25. And 6n series is where you need to put n equals 1, n equals 2. So when I put n equals 1, it will be 6. N equals 2, 12. N equals 3, 18. N equals 4, 24. And now subtract these two. You'll get 1, 1, 1, 1. This common 1, you need to add it here. So your nth term comes out to be 6n plus 1. So this is how you can calculate the nth term. There is another way as well, which is directly the nth term of a arithmetic series, of any arithmetic series. There is a formula which is a plus n minus 1d. This is the formula to calculate nth term of any arithmetic sequence. Doesn't matter which type of arithmetic sequence it is. That's the common formula. A represents first term and D represents common difference. So first term in this series is 7. 7 plus n minus 1, and D represents common difference that we just calculated is 6. 6. 7 plus 6 times n minus 1. 7 plus 6n minus 6, or 6n plus 1. So you can clearly see this comes out to be the same, 6n plus 1. In either way you can solve, but as I told you, the preferred one is the one that I have solved up there, because that will help you in calculating the quadratic sequence as well, because quadratic sequence is little bit tougher, little bit complex, but the starting few steps are exactly the same. The nth term of a different sequence is 8 minus 6n. Is negative 58 a term of this sequence? You must show how to get your answer. See, the nth term of a different sequence is 8 minus 6n. So let it be. Obviously we don't know what term is it, but any nth term is negative 58. Now I have to see if n comes out to be an integer or not. If n comes out to be integer, because n represent number of terms, so number of terms are always integers. I cannot say this 1.5 is a term. We say first, second, third. Even in class I got first rank, second rank. I can never say that I got 3.5th rank, 6.7th rank. So n should be integer. So on solving, if I get n as an integer, that means negative 58 is a term, else it's not. Minus 58, 8 minus 6n, just bring it here. This will become negative 66 equals minus 6n, or n is equals to 11. Negative 66 over negative 6 is 11. So this comes out to be an integer. That means yes, it is a term of the sequence and is 11th term. Question 4 says the diagram shows a plan of Jason's garden. ABCO and DEFO are rectangles. ABCO, that means this one. Clearly this is a rectangle, and DEFO, this is also a rectangle. AFO is a sector of a circle with center O and the angle AOF is 90 degrees. See, sector is simply a piece of your pizza. That is a sector. So it's bounded by two straight line or radii and a curved one. So I can say they have mentioned AFO is basically a sector. Jason is going to cover his garden with grass seed. Each bag of grass seed covers 14 meters squared of garden. Each bag of grass seed costs 10.95 pounds. Work out how much it will cost Jason to buy all the bags of the grass seed he needs. So which means we have to work out the total area of this one. So first let me calculate the areas one by one. Area of sector, there is a separate formula, but since they have already mentioned that it's a 90 degrees, it's a 90 degree, that means clearly it's 1/4 of the area of a circle. That's it. So area of a circle is pi r squared, so this is going to be pi r squared over 4. Plus, next is area of ABCO. So I'm just writing it here for the better understanding. First, area of AFO plus area of ABACO, which is a rectangle, then area of DOC, which is a triangle, plus area of FOED, which is a rectangle. So area of AFO is a sector. As I told you, it's 1/4 of area of circle, so it's going to be pi r squared over 4, plus area of ABCO, that comes out to be a rectangle. That means it's going to be 11 times 7. Then area of DOC, which is a triangle, that is half times base, which is 11. Clearly this is 11 times height, which is clearly parallel to 9. So it's going to be half times 11 times 9. So I'll write half times 11 times 9 plus area of this rectangle, which is 9 times 7. Radius is definitely parallel to 7. 7, 7. So radius is definitely going to be 7. So let me put 7 here. It's pi 7 squared over 4 plus 77 plus 49.5. This will be 63. If you add them all up, you will get answer as 227.98451 meters squared. But let me say take it up to 2 decimal place. So 227.98. This is the total area of this one. But they have mentioned that each bag of grass seed covers 14 meters squared of garden. So if each bag covers 14 meters squared of garden, how can we calculate the number of bags? Simply dividing it by 14 meters squared. So 27.98 over 14. This will come out to be 16.28. These are the number of bags, but don't do this mistake. 16.28 cannot be a number of bag. Is it possible that you will go, if like it's not open, if it's a packet and you're going to purchase, I need 16.28 packets? It's not possible. That means if you need 16.28 bags, that means definitely you need an extra bag. 16 bags will do their work, but still there is one more, a few more seeds are required. That means you have to purchase the next complete bag. So this is going to be 17 bags. If each bag costs 10.95, then 17 bags cost 17.10.95, which will give you your final answer as 186.15 pounds. Question 5 says, work out the value of x. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Clearly, this is a right angle triangle and its angle, one of the angle is given as 53.5 and they are asking you to calculate the length. You have to use the trigonometric ratios. You have to see what is given and what is being asked. This is hypotenuse. And if this is the angle, this x is definitely the adjacent because that is connected to this side. So x is adjacent, that means which is the trigonometric ratio which has adjacent and hypotenuse, that is cos. So cos 53 degrees is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 14.5. X will be 14.5 times cos 53 degrees, which comes out to be 8.726. Till 2, it is up to 3 significant figures, so our answer will be 8.73. Ella invests 7,000 pounds for 2 years in an account paying compound interest. It's important, compound interest. In the first year, the rate of interest is 3%. In the second year, the rate of interest is 1.5%. Work out the value of Ella's investment at the end of 2 years. That means every year the percentage is changing. So we know after the first year, if this was the initial amount 7,000, then 3% would be after the first year, which is 210. If it's 210, that means just add it up. At the end of first year, this will be 7000 plus 210, which is 7210. This is end of first year. For second year, rate of interest has changed and which comes out to be 1.5%. So 1.5%, that means now 1.5% will be on 7210. So 7210 and 1.5% for 1 year, and obviously you need to add it to your original one. That's how what I did here, right? Because this is the interest that you will get, but at the end of year you will get the complete money. That's the meaning of compound interest. You will get the money your actual amount plus interest, and then in the next year your principal amount will change, and that will be the what you got at the end of the first year. This is what actually the compound interest. In simple interest, the amount remains the same, the principal amount remains the same, but in compound interest every year it keeps on changing. So when you solve this, this comes out to be 7318.15. So that's your final answer, which is 7318.15. Here is the graph of y equals x squared minus 6x plus 4. Write down the y-intercept of the graph. Y-intercept of this graph, that means where you can see the graph cutting the y-axis, which is here. So 0, 4 is the y-intercept. Answer is going to be 0, 4, or simple 4 is the intercept. This is your y-intercept, so you can say 4. Write down the coordinates of the turning point of the graph of y. Turning point, that means where the graph is taking turn. This is the point where graph is taking turn clearly, and this point is 3, -5. So coordinates are 3, -5. Use the graph to find estimates of the roots. Roots are basically for any curve, whether it's a quadratic, whether it's a cubic, fourth, any curve, wherever the curve is cutting x-axis, that gives the root of that particular curve. And it is cutting here. Why it says estimate? Because it's like you have to clearly see. This is between 0 to 1, and each block, each square represents 0.1 unit. So this one will be approximately 0.8. So first value of x is 0.8, and if each block represents 1 unit, this is going to be 5.2. So answer is 0.8 and 5.2. And you can take the range as well. Even your answer will come out to be plus minus 0.1. That means 0.7 to 0.9 will work. 5.1 to 5.3 will work. That's why they have mentioned estimates. So it can be like plus minus 0.1 will work. Chanda buys a necklace for 120 pounds. She sells the necklace for 135 pounds. Work out her purse and profit. Simple. She actually purchased at 120 and sells it. So how much profit she gained? Profit is nothing. How much she sold and how much she purchased. It was 15 pounds. Profit was 15 pounds. If profit is 15 pounds, then percentage is what? We already know that percent profit, change in percentage, it's always change over original. This is my profit, and profit is always over your cost price, over how much you have purchased. So it's going to be 15 over 120 into 100. There's another formula, and you can remember percentage change. So it can be for loss, for profit, for any percentage change. This is final minus initial over initial into 100, and we have applied the same here as well. Final is 135 because that was the final thing she has purchased it, she has sold it. So 135 minus 120 over initial, that means initially she purchased, she has to purchase to sell it. So initial was to purchase, so initial was 120. If you solve this, this comes out to be 12.5%. Now question 9. Here are the equations of two straight line. Y equals half x minus 6 and 6y equals 3x plus 7. Oscar says that these lines are parallel. Is Oscar correct? See, it's important. There are two things that you have to keep in mind. There are two conditions. If lines are parallel, if lines are perpendicular. If lines are parallel, gradients of both lines are equal. So in parallel, m1 should be equals to m2. That means gradient of both lines should be equals to each other. Whereas for perpendicular, the multiplication of the gradient should be equals to -1. That means when you multiply the gradients of two different lines and if it comes out to be -1, that means they both are perpendicular. Now let me see and check what are the gradients of each. Gradient of first line, this line is, because how can we check? It should be in a format of y equals mx plus c, and the coefficient of x will give you the gradient. For the first line, half is the gradient of this line, and for second, divide both the sides by 6. Why? Because we want the coefficient of y to be just 1. So we will get y is equals to 3 over 6x plus 7, which is half x plus 7. That means the gradient of this line is half, as well as they both are equal. That means they are parallel. So is Oscar correct? Yes, Oscar is definitely correct. And what's the reason? The reason is that they both have the same gradient. So answer would be yes, they both have same gradient. Alia bought a car. In the first year after she bought the car, its value depreciated at rate of 23% per annum. In the second year after she bought the car, its value depreciated at the rate of 19% per annum. At the end of the second year, the car was worth 10914.75 pounds. What was the value of the car when Alia bought it? In this, basically, we don't know the actual value of car. So let us say this be x. If suppose x be the value of car, then in the first year, its value depreciated. Depreciated, that means it's decreasing. Decreasing, it's not happening, it's not 23% of actual. It's decreasing by 23%. If it says depreciation, that means this is actually 100 minus 23. So basically it's going to be x into 77% of the actual car. So this will be the value of the car at the end of the first year, which is now 77% of its original value. In the second year, the car depreciated at the rate of 19. That means 100 minus 19, which is 81%. This was the value of car at the end of first year. Then its value depreciated by 19%. That means now it's 81% of the value that was at the end of the first year. So it's going to be 81 over 100. So you can say x times 0.77 times 0.81. This value is equals to 10914.75. From here, x is equals to 10914.75 over 0.77 into 0.81, and this value is equals to 17500. In an experiment, 60 students each completed a puzzle. The cumulative frequency graph shows information about the time taken for the 60 students to complete the puzzle. For these 60 students, at least time taken was 24 seconds, and greatest time, least was 24 and the greatest was 96. On the grid, draw a box plot. See, for the box plot, you should know the minimum value that is given, the highest value which is given, interquartile range, that means upper quartile and lower quartile you should know, and the median. This you can find by this graph, cumulative frequency graph. In cumulative frequency graph, if I want to find the median, I need to see the half of the frequency. Cumulative frequency is 60. Half of 60 is 30. At 30, I have to draw a line that is horizontal, and once it touches the curve, draw a vertical line. This value is, you can say somehow 40, 50, 54, somehow 54, 53 you will get. Let me write it as 54. So first is we got median as 54. Next is to get the lower quartile. Lower quartile, quartiles means the quarters. Just like median is the middle value, similarly quartiles are the quarters of the values. That means if you want to find the lower quartile, it should be 1/4 of the cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency is 60. So 1/4 of 60 is 15. So lower quartile will be, for lower quartile, cumulative frequency by 4, that is 15. So at 15 I'll draw a horizontal line, and once it touches the curve I'll draw a vertical line. This value is 42. So now lower quartile is 42. Upper quartile is 3/4 of it. So 3/4 of 60 will be 60 into 3/4, which is 45. So at 45, I'll draw a horizontal line. Once it touches the curve, I'll draw a vertical line. Which is 64. So upper quartile is going to be 64. Now I have to draw it here. I'll start with the minimum, which is 24. Each square on this box plot graph represents 1 unit. So 24 is going to be, sorry, it represents 2 units. So 24 is going to be here. Highest is 96, so it's going to be 2 units before 100. Median we have calculated as 54. So it's going to be here 50, so it will be 54. Lower quartile was 42, so it will be here. And upper quartile was 64, so it should be here. Now join them together. So that's it for today. The rest of the questions you will find in part 2. Now, as written on the board, if you want to book one-on-one classes or batch classes, then you can drop us an email, as well as you can log in through our website and you can book your slot. And we provide almost all subjects from year 1 to year 13. I have tutors for different subjects. They all have an experience of more than 5 years. So that's it for today. Thank you. Have a great day.